Jordan Peterson. Okay. So Jordan Peterson decided to go to Jubilee and argue as a representative of the Christian values. The initial video goes one Christian versus 20 atheists. For some reason, after some kind of a backlash, which we're going to find out why that happened, the video title changes from Jordan Peterson versus 20 atheists. Why, you might ask? Let's take a look.
All of Catholic social theory. How about that, Christian?
Sure. So do you believe in the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-good notion of God?
What do you mean by believe?
Oh, here we go. It is very obvious that he is representing Christianity. If somebody comes and asks you, an atheist comes to a Christian, a Muslim, whatever, a theist of sorts, and tells them, do you believe in the notion of a God? What you're not going to ask, what do you mean by God? Jordan Peterson, for quite some time, has been known for doing this weird thing where you could ask him the most simple, benign question ever, and he will come at you with, you could literally ask him something like, do you believe humans walk on two legs? Most humans. He'll be like, what do you mean by walk? What does any of that mean? What do you mean by human? What do you mean by walk? And it's like, you cannot even have the most simple form of conversation with this man because everything will become a definition game of sorts. Now, he's representing Christianity. An atheist asks him, do you believe in an all-knowing, all-powerful God? And instead of just saying yes or no, he goes, what do you mean by believe? And it's like, dude, you know what that means.
Do you think it to be true?
That's the circular definition. What do you mean?
How is it circular?
Circular is when you use the same word you're trying to define back again in a definition. If he was asking what do you mean by believe, and then he answers, believe means to believe in something, then that's circular because he used the same word in the definition again. The guy told him, do you think it to be true? That's not circular.
Believe.
How is that circular?
Because you added no content to the answer by substituting the word true and believe.
I said you think it to be true.
All right. So if you believe something, you stake your life on it.
What do you mean by that?
You live for it and you die for it. That's what I mean by that. It isn't.
That is the most ridiculous thing. Oh my God. If people actually believe that rhetoric, then nobody can truly believe in literally anything. You cannot believe the sky is blue. You cannot believe that you can walk. You cannot believe anything because you'd have to stake your life on it. Why do you have to stake your life on believing in anything?
Something that you say. It isn't something that's associated with logical consistency. It's not declarative. It's not propositional. It's not a figment of your imagination. It's the presupposition of your attention and your action. And you're either fragmented, in which case you worship multiple gods, or there's some unity at the bottom of it that makes you an unstoppable force.
That was nothing but straight word vomit. He literally said a whole lot, but a buttload of nothing. What did that even mean to anyone? That means nothing. Just answer the damn question. Do you believe in the notion of that powerful God? Yes or no? What?
So you're saying that you don't believe something if you wouldn't die for it?
Yes. The answer to that is yes, because he literally said to believe in something means to stake your life on it. That entails that if you're not willing to die for that thing, then you don't believe in it.
Can there ever be a circumstance logically that lying could save someone?
Yeah, and if you're steeped in sin, you're likely to live in circumstances like that.
What does that even mean, dude? Somebody could literally out of their control end up in a situation where they literally have to lie. Imagine somebody telling you the only reason why you can end up in a situation where you have to lie to save your life is because of your own fault. How does that make any sense? Can there ever not be a situation in the world where somebody literally comes and mugs you in the middle of the street? There ever be not a case where somebody breaks into your house and then they ask you for something or anything logically? There's a million scenarios where some stuff like that can happen that are literally out of your control.
I'll give you an example. If you're in Nazi Germany, and it is the case that there's Jewish people in your attic, and you're trying to protect them,
example.
Would you lie to the Nazis?
I would have done everything I bloody well could, so I wouldn't be in that situation.
Would you lie?
What could you have possibly done to not end up in Nazi Germany when Hitler was in power? As a normal civilian who has Jewish families, what could you possibly have done? Single-handedly not elect him? single-handedly fight all the Nazis? Like, what is he even talking about? This is just like a logical hypothetical to understand. Would there ever be a case where you would have to lie? The simple answer to 99.9% of humans is yes. Yes, you would lie.
It's a hypothetical, and it's
You
not
can't answer
answerable.
hypotheticals?
No, I can't answer a hypothetical like
What?
that because
Did
it's
you eat
far.
today?
Look,
Did you eat
don't
today?
play games.
I'm not playing a game. I'm just
Yes,
asking if you
you
ate
are.
it.
If you present me with an intractable moral choice that's stripped of context and you back me into a corner, you're playing game. I just told you.
He's not being backed into a corner. This is not some kind of a logical game where you're trying to trap him. This is just a very simple question. The man said he believes that nobody should ever lie under no circumstances. Oh, really? Okay, let's test that belief. If you were in a situation where you literally have to lie, otherwise your family members or your loved ones would literally like be killed or die, would you not lie for them? That's not, you know what? He could have literally asked the same question, and instead of telling him, you are in that situation, he could have just said, somebody is in that situation. If he said, assuming someone, let's think of an example where somebody is in that situation and they have to lie, do you condone them lying or not? And then we would love to see what his reaction is going to be to that. You know what I mean? Like, this whole thing is just to see, do you actually believe in your principles? How can we test them?
It's just a basic hypothetical. Like I could ask you.
It's just a basic
yeah,
hypothetical
Like,
where
like
you
if you
put Jews' lives at stake in Nazi Germany. That's just a basic
obviously
hypothetical.
You put Jews' lives at stake. Oh my God.
I wouldn't be in that scenario.
obviously, right? Logically, because that's
No.
already happened. Like that's in the
Bro, everybody in the background is literally confused. Like, what is going on with this man? He built his career on being this, like, you know, intellectual, smart guy who like can outwit his way and everything. You know what I mean? Like, and now he just looks like an absolute moron. Of course, that's not gonna happen because it already happened. This is absolutely beyond impossible to watch. This guy is supposed to be an actual intellectual person, or at least that's what he's built his brand on. And he cannot even answer a very simple question to understand his moral principles. Okay, at least that's one clip, okay, where we see just how much of an idiot he looks and how some 20-year-old kids literally embarrassed him. The second clip is where shit hit the fan.
Why are you asking me that?
Because you're a Christian.
You say that. I haven't.
This is where it gets really embarrassing for Jordan Peterson. This video was literally, like I said, titled "One Christian versus 20 Atheists." And this guy just assumed him to be a Christian because that's literally what the video is about. And this guy says, I didn't claim that. I didn't claim that. Well, yes, you did. You literally said, you're a Christian, and you came in here defending the Christian position. What do you mean you're not a Christian? And this is where, like, shit literally hit the fan for Jordan Peterson.
What is this? Is this Christians versus atheists?
I don't know.
You don't know where you are right now.
Don't be a smartass.
Well,
and I mean
either
it,
you're a
'cause
Christian
I won't
or you're
talk
not.
to you if you're a smartass.
Oh, either you're a Christian or you're not. Which one is it?
I could be either of them, but I don't have to tell
could be-
you.
You don't have to tell me. I was under the impression
private.
I was invited to talk to a Christian. Am I not talking to a Christian?
No, you were invited to.
I think everyone should look at the title of the YouTube channel. You're probably in the wrong YouTube video,
You're really quite something. You are.
aren't I? But you're really quite nothing, right? You're not a Christian.
Oh my God. This is where he literally dropped the ball on this guy. Like, and it's so factual. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit more poetic than it actually looks on the surface. This guy is supposed to be this super smart, super intellectual, big word using, like, you know, psychology professor who has a reply for everything. I mean, literally one of his biggest, like, claim to fame moments was him versus, I think, Kathy Newman, who was literally standing in front of him and doing this thing where she says, oh, so basically what you're saying is, and he was able to, like, sort of maneuver the entire, like, logical traps and things that she was trying to do. And he came off looking like very smart, very intellectual, very calm and collected kind of guy. And today he's supposed to be representing Christianity, standing in front of like some 20-year-old kids that are like atheists. And he can't even sit down and say, yeah, I am a Christian. Like, could you imagine just how bad this guy actually fell off? I mean, why did you even come here if you're not going to be a representative of Christianity? And the prior conversations, if you've noticed, most of them were just like, Okay, assuming you are a Christian, X, Y, and Z. They trying to build, because the premise here is that they are atheists, he's a Christian, and we move on from there. If we can't even agree on the premise that you're literally a representative of Christianity, then what are we even doing here? Like, imagine having a series, and this is on Jubilee's part, having a series where you literally have one individual who represents an idea and 20 people who represent the opposing position. One doctor versus 20 vaccine deniers. One I don't know, liberal versus 20 MAGA, believers or something, or followers. And then you have one Christian versus 20 atheists, because I'm pretty sure they had one atheist versus 20 Christians with Michael Connor or something. So what is he even doing here if he's not going to follow through with the whole thing? And Jubilee's going to come around and change the whole title of the video and then make it Jordan Peterson versus 20 atheists. What does that even mean? What is Jordan Peterson to an atheist? You know what I mean? Like, what are we even juxtaposing? Like, Jordan Peterson versus atheist. What does that mean? What does Jordan Peterson represent? Jordan Peterson is not an idea. It's not a belief system. It's not any form of principles or ideals. I mean, to be honest, these guys even try to understand what are his positions, what are his positions on lying, what are his positions on what principles does he follow, and he doesn't even seem to want to entertain hypotheticals, answer simple questions. So what does it actually even mean to be Jordan Peterson versus 20 atheists? Another thing that made this video extremely, extremely funny to me was some of the comments. I'm going to read one of them because that one stood out to me. Peterson did really well in this debate, depending on your definition of really well, this, and debate, obviously, because nothing means anything to this man. You could, like I said before, you could literally ask him something as simple as, like, what time is it? I mean, what do you mean by the concept of time? What does time even mean? Man, I just wonder, what does it feel like to just like wake up every single morning and just try to have a normal conversation with this man if he was your father or spouse or something? Goodness gracious. Anyways, man, that's it for this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think about this video down below.